Hey guys, welcome to the latest installment of Spicy Licks. If you're new to my channel, this is a little series that I do here where I take a lick that I've either come up with myself or one that I've learned and transcribed from another player. I show you how to play it note for note with tab, and then after that I talk a bit about the theory behind the lick so that if you're theory minded you can take that knowledge and use it to apply it to licks of your own to come up with similar types of sounds. Today we're going to be taking a look at a Guthrie Trapp lick that uses chromaticism to highlight the chord change from 1 to 4 in a blues progression. It's from his song called Shag Rug Burn, and it goes like this. Here's that same lick once again, this time played at a much slower tempo so that if you want to follow along at home and learn it note for note, then you're able to do just that. Real quick, before we move on to learning this actual lick, the gear I'm using in today's video includes my Fender Custom Shop Strat that is running into a Sur Eclipse for some overdrive, the Strymon Blue Sky Reverb for some spring reverb, the Walrus Audio ARP 87 delay for some slapback. All of those pedals are going into the front end of the awesome Moore Audio preamp live, which is being recorded direct via the XLR output straight into my Universal Audio Apollo Twin interface. To your ears, this lick might sound very jazzy and like there's a lot going on in terms of scale and note choice, but it's actually quite simple in that regard. Don't get me wrong, it is definitely a fast lick and technically challenging depending on your picking ability, but in terms of note choice, it's not so complicated. I want you to visualize position 3 of the A blues scale, with a D dominant 7th triad on top on the first string set. So this is a first inversion D7 triad. So that means you've got the 3rd on the bottom, 7th in the middle, and the root on top on the high E string. There's always 3 inversions of any triad you play. So you've got the root position, first inversion, and the second inversion. In this case, we're using a dominant 7th triad, which contains the root, a major 3rd, and a flat 7th. So root position has the root note in the bass, first inversion has the 3rd in the bass, and the second inversion has the 7th in the bass. So the first part of this lick is very much based around that particular position of the A blues scale, with the D7 triad in there as well. So you've got the A blues scale for chord 1, and the D7 triad, which is kind of foreshadowing chord 4, which is about to appear next in the progression. Now after that, what Guthrie does is he adds in a whole bunch of passing notes to fill in the gaps of this position of the A blues scale. So on the B, G, D and A strings, you've got sequences of 4 descending notes which go like this. So on the B string you start on fret 13 and you finish on fret 10. On the G, D and A strings, you start on fret 12 and end on fret 9. Now, I feel that it's important to point out that you are not simply playing the chromatic scale here. There are a bunch of passing notes, a lot of them are separated by semitones, but you're not strictly playing a chromatic scale here, because if you look closely, the last note that you play on the B string and the first note that you play on the G string, that's A to G. So those notes are separated by a tone, not a semitone. So it's not the chromatic scale. Same goes for the last note that you play on the G string and the first note that you play on the D string. That's E to D. Again, those notes are separated by a tone. And again, last note on the D string and the first note on the A string, B to A, also separated by a tone. So this is not the chromatic scale, although there are a lot of passing notes in there. I'd like to imagine that Guthrie's thought process for this lick was to start on this note and end on this note, because the last note in that lick is the major third of D, and as we know, D7 in the key of A is the 4 chord in a blues progression. So Guthrie is on this side of the fretboard. He targets a chord tone of the 4 chord, this one being the major third down here. And how he gets there is by adding in all of these passing notes. And therefore landing perfectly on the major third of D. So I'm sure you'll agree with me, it's a pretty cool lick. The first time I heard it, I was like, wow, I need to work out what's going on there. So I'm definitely going to be stealing this one and adding it into my trick bag. But anyway, that does it for this installment of Spicy Licks. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you did enjoy this lesson, if you feel like you learned something from it, please do give it a like down below. Share it with your guitar playing friends who might be interested. Click subscribe for more, and I will see you guys in the next one.